Hello and welcome. So my name is Michael and I'll be your guide for all things EFT. So I had a few requests to put together a video on addictions, to do a tapping video for addictions. So this is what this video is going to be about. Now, just briefly, before we get into it, is addictions can be quite a complicated subject with many different, what we call aspects in EFT. And aspects are basically different angles or different ways that the addiction has encoded itself in our system. So to make it really simple, there's two main ones we can point out now. The first one is really the craving, the physical craving in the moment of the particular activity or the particular substance. It's more like a physical biochemical craving in the now. And that can also be tied into the ritualistic process of it. So like rolling a cigarette or lighting a cigarette, if we're talking about cigarettes. So that's one part which we will actually do the tap on today. The other one can be more complicated, and this can be more sort of deep psychological processes which can usually be tied back to things like safety, control. So it's more like a coping mechanism for a deeper psychological thing going on underneath. So that is more sophisticated, and we won't really go there in this video. If you want to learn more about that, then check out my website, check out my other videos where we will potentially tackle those angles as well. But let's do a tap on the actual physical addiction to a particular process, like a habit. You know, this could be going to the fridge to look for food when you're not hungry, or eating when you're not hungry. It could be cigarettes, like the actual process of looking at a cigarette, picking up a cigarette, playing with a cigarette in your hand, putting it in your mouth. All these things are triggering the sort of ritual of the addiction, more so than the other component. So I want you to think of something now that you've got a attachment / addiction towards, the actual process of it, and you know it's not particularly healthy. And I want you to think of it like, look at the item in your mind's eye, or even if you've got it in front of you, you can look at it. And I want you to give yourself permission to want it. You know, most of the time with addictions and trying to come out is that we're trying to not want it, right? And the not wanting it actually creates more stress, and the stress then makes us want it even more. There's a process where the more you resist something, the more it tends to persist, and the more that you actually want it. So for now, instead of not wanting it or not trying not to want it, I want you just in your mind and just inside yourself is give yourself permission to really, really want it. And imagine doing it. So don't do it yet, just still look at it, but imagine, you know, if it's a cigarette, putting it in your mouth, smelling it, smelling the food, whatever it is. Just give yourself permission to run through the wantingness of it. Just let yourself want it as best as you can. Imagine having it or doing that particular activity. Good. So now we've got it, let's tap. So I want you to tap on the side of the hand like this. Take a deep breath. Good. And you can even give yourself a rating here on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being maximum wanting or maximum craving. What would it be for that item right now? The higher the number, generally the better, because it means we're accessing that stress in the brain. Okay, good. So let that number go now, and let's tap. So focus. Repeat these words if it feels okay. even though I really, really want that thing, that's okay. I give myself permission to want it. I accept how I feel. And I fully and deeply love, honor, and forgive myself anyway. Even though I really want that thing. It would taste so good right now. Or whatever it is, use your words. It would feel so good right now. Take a breath and let it sink in. I accept how I feel. It's okay to feel this way. And I let this energy run through. And I fully and deeply love, honor, and respect myself anyway. Even though I really want that thing, it'd taste so good right now. I accept how I feel. It's okay to want this thing. I allow myself to want this thing. It's okay to feel this way, and it's safe now to relax my body and let it go. Good. 2 fingers here. I really want this thing on the side. It'd taste so good right now. Deep breath. And there. I really, really want it. And a part of me knows it's not good for me. And I've been battling with that part of myself for so long. And I've been battling with that part. And it makes me feel kind of guilty. It makes me feel stressed when I battle myself. It makes me feel anxious when I judge myself. And I put all this pressure on myself to stop doing the thing that I want to do. Deep breath. Good, and now. So in this moment, I'm just going to give myself permission to want it. And stop fighting myself. Stop judging myself. And I'm just going to let the energy run through me. Because the more I try to stop it, the more pressure and tension I feel inside myself. Deep breath. Good. And here. So I'm open to the idea of just letting this feeling run through me. Deep breath. Inside. And even though I crave that thing, I can feel the energy of craving in my body. And I can just let that energy run through me. Deep breath. It's safe for me to let this feeling go. And it's safe for me to relax my body. Deep breath. It's safe for me to relax my body. And let this energy run through me like a river. I choose to let this energy run through me like a river. So that this feeling is not personal, It's just a feeling in my body. And I'm letting that energy move through. And I'm allowing myself to breathe deeply. Deep breath. And I'm allowing myself to relax deeply and easily. And I choose to let go of all the guilt that I've been tripping on myself. I allow myself to forgive myself. Deep breath. And no matter what happens, I allow myself to forgive myself. Top of the head. I allow myself to honor myself. And I allow myself to take good care of myself. Deep breath. Because taking good care of myself feels good. Under the eye. Taking good care of myself feels natural. And I choose to let go of any feelings that are stuck or stagnant or controlling. It's safe now to let all this stuff go. So my body can relax. My mind can relax. And I fully and deeply love and accept myself no matter what happens. Deep breath. Good. So take your time, have a sip of water, and when you're ready, bring that item back to mind or back in front of you and test yourself again. See if you can give yourself permission to want it and notice how strong the wanting is inside your body. So give it a scale from 1 to 10. I'll give it a new number. If the number's gone down at all, this is a sign we're heading in the right direction. This is basically the energy of it, the intensity, the pressure, the emotional charge is being reduced. And basically, when we can continue to keep tapping or release the emotional charge, the tension, then in many cases, the craving is massively reduced. And so the natural tendency towards that behavior starts to fall away. So we don't have to use willpower so much. It's more like we just dissolve the intensity, the emotional charge. So of course, if the energy is still there, just go back and do a few more rounds, and you can come back to this video at any time and repeat it. Often you'll have to do it a few times, especially at the beginning, to start taking the intense charge out of an item. So this video is here anytime you need it, with any item, with any object, with any habit. See if you can run through this process to reduce it. If it's been helpful, leave a comment below. I'd love to hear, what it did for you. Be sure to subscribe if you want to dive deeper into EFT. Then check out my website, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Thank you.